What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Today, I want to talk about a couple of my recent purchases that I have made. Just give you guys an update on what I'm buying. I bought a couple small things today, and honestly, that's probably going to be the extent of my purchasing, probably until like November, December, when I'm planning to pick up a couple things, and I'll tell you all about that. But first, I do want to say I'm sure the audio sounds different. This is my first day recording on my new microphone. I know that the settings are off. So if anyone has experience using the Shure SM7DB, if you record in OBS, if you edit in DaVinci Resolve, and you have any recommendations just based on what you're hearing, definitely feel free to shoot me an email, put a message down below. I'm open to criticism to make these better. I did the first run today on the main channel and it didn't sound good. So hopefully this one sounds a little bit better. I know it's not going to be perfect, but I'm trying to dial in the settings. And if anyone is like a sound engineer or anything, definitely feel free to reach out to me. I'll be happy to pay you, compensate you for your time if we can get this sorted out. But moving into this, there are a couple things first I want to show you guys on TCG Player, starting with Romance Dawn, non-blue bottom. So the white bottom booster boxes from Wave 2. We all know blue bottoms. They're doing fairly well. We're into like the mid 2K-ish range, 25, 2600 at this point. There's been sales up to 3500 USD. But on TCG Player, the white bottom booster box has been moving up as well, up about 118% over the past 12 months. And we just saw over the past 48 hours or so a couple sales here, one at $600 USD. So I think this is the first ever sale I've seen of a white bottom reach $600. And then we had another one at 550. So this box is now pushing well into the 500s. It makes sense. When I did the spreadsheet update about a week ago, there were hardly any boxes listed below, I think 600 or 550, whatever it was for the blue bottoms. It makes sense these are moving into that 600 range. Again, my estimate on these was way too conservative. Maybe they hit like 700 before the end of the year, 800. Who honestly knows? There really is a huge move into investing in TCGs over the past couple months. If you guys are in Pokemon, you know what I mean. Sword and Shield, Sun and Moon, XY era, all those popped off. Now in Scarlet and Violet era, we have Paldea Evolved going 151. I mean, the UPCs are up 60% over the past like 2 months. They went from 400 to now $600. Uh, Pokemon Center ETBs, those are up like 100, 200, 300% plus in a 3 month period for just some of them, like the Obsidian Flames, Paldea Evolved, etc. So crazy movements. And that's coming over into one piece, obviously, with blue bottoms, now white bottoms, and a couple other sets. O5, OPO5, this is another set that I think is great. I've been telling you guys for months at this point to get some exposure to O5. Again, the risk is that they reprint the set because it is going to be in rotation in 2026. It's not rotating out until 2027 early on. So there is the risk it gets reprinted. Again, just buy with the plan to potentially buy more if that happens, dollar cost average. That's my plan if they reprint O5. If they don't, I'm happy with the amount I have. And also, this box in general now is just back up to $270 plus on TCG Player. So making a move. And then also PRBL1, not at $500 yet, guys. I know TCG Player, it says 423, but when you look at recent sales, $496 and another one at 496. That again is over probably the past 2 or 3 days on those. These other sales here, this is all Japanese product. Again, I don't recommend investing in Japanese. One, it just is less liquid. It's the set that less people collect. And then also, there really isn't like a plastic outer seal on Japanese boxes. It's just a couple pieces of tape. I'm not a huge fan of that. So stick with English if you can. If you want to open product, obviously, by all means, go for Japanese. I think that's fine. But investment purposes, I always recommend the English product. Also, one more thing before we get into talking about what I've been buying recently. OPO9 is now back up to $200. I think we've talked about this before. But the surprising thing is that EBO2 booster boxes have actually overtaken O9, leapfrogged them in price. EBO2 is now up to about $206 on TCG Player. It's consistently selling around $200, but there have been some sales that have pushed that up. I think this is a great set. Now, it has done better than what I thought it was going to do, and a lot of the card values are kind of shocking to me. I always knew the Luffy manga card was going to be expensive. The Boa Hancock, it made sense. The Vegapunk is obviously a huge surprise to everyone, being the Air card. But just how well some of these SP cards have done, it really is crazy that there's still, I don't know, what is that, 6, 8, 9, 10, 10 cards over $200 still. Very impressive. The manga's over 1,000. I think it's a top 4 manga at this point in terms of value. Some of the alt arts are cool as well. So EBO2 doing much better than I think anyone expected. It's also an extra booster. Bandai hasn't shown that they're willing to reprint these. And I actually said this in the Discord yesterday to someone that I feel like EBO2 is probably going to be the last extra booster where you can probably make decent gains on it. I think moving forward, EVO3, there's obviously a lot of hype there. In my opinion, it might even be overhyped for the heroine set. But I think moving forward with EVO3, EVO4, the cat's going to be out of the bag. People are going to realize that Bandai doesn't really like to reprint these sets. After release, they tend to move up fairly quickly afterwards. And if there are a few decent cards inside that have some value, you can make decent money investing in this product. So I think moving forward, prices on all these extra boosters are probably going to go up. The margins are going to go down, and that's probably going to make it just in general a less desirable thing to invest in and a play to be making. And I'm not saying that doesn't mean you don't invest into these, but just the reality is you probably shouldn't expect to see as large of gains going forward on like O3, O4, O5, etc., compared to what we've seen with EBO1 and now EBO2. And I think EBO2 is just going to continue going. If we don't get a reprint, this will be like a $300-400 box plus in the future. It has an iconic manga card. It's got a ton of value in the other top hits. It also has an error card in the Vegapunk. So huge fan of that set. Now, moving into a couple of things I'm buying. I'm sure some of you guys have seen my short. You've heard me talk that I did buy another case of OP11. I bought it from HPW Cards in Canada, 150 Canadian pre-tax. It was like what, 111, 113 USD converted after tax. I'm absolutely fine if someone wants to invest into OP11 at that price. I think that you really don't have a ton of downside risk, and it is a solid set. I don't think it's going to be the best set in One Piece, but it's great. So I bought a little bit more. But today, I did buy a box of PRBO2, and I also bought a box of OP13. There's a card store up here in Canada, HPW Games, which I just alluded to. They announced yesterday they were putting up pre-orders like Wave 2 or whatever for both of these boxes. And PRBO2 actually sold out. When I checked this morning when I saw it, they had 3 boxes in stock. So I quickly ordered one along with OP13. And they're both up for 200 Canadian, which is a great price. Like before they announced this for OP13 and PRBO2, if you wanted to get these in Canada, the cheapest I could find was like 330 Canadian, which I don't even know what the conversion would be, maybe like 250 USD, 27 and 270, maybe a bit less than 270, 250 USD, 240 USD, something like that, pre-tax. It was so expensive. And I do know that we're kind of in a period where both of these sets are set to come out. Pre-orders have kind of already happened again in One Piece. Pre-orders happen very early on. So I was kind of waiting for this to happen, but HPW is genuinely like the lowest prices I've ever seen on One Piece in Canada. And by the way, this like isn't sponsored at all. I don't have an affiliate link for these guys. I've just purchased from them a lot. They do a great job with shipping, and just because their prices are super competitive, that's why I buy from them. So if you want to get OP13, again, no affiliation with HPW. I'm just a fan. They have 32 boxes currently in stock, and I think that's for Wave 2, so it's going to come out like 3 weeks after release, or that's when they're going to ship. So if you guys are in Canada, I figured I would share that with you. Now, the reason I bought one box of both of these, I would have bought cases, and I'm a fan of PRBO2. I'm a fan of OP13. Do I want to get cases of both of these? Yes. Have I been putting my dollars to work somewhere else? Yes. So over the past couple weeks, a lot of my TCG investing dollars have gone towards Paldean Fates. I just picked up a sealed case of the ETBs. I bought them from Remy Card Trader, who's another place in Canada. I kind of caught him slacking on price a little bit, and they were willing to send me the sealed case, which there is a premium in Pokemon on that type of product. So that was about $2,000-3,000. And then I also picked up some other Pokemon products, a case of Surging Sparks booster boxes. So for me, it really just has been a matter of putting my money to work in different areas into products that I think are probably going to do a little bit better. I mean, those are both super strong sets from Pokemon, but PRBO2, it's still going to be a great set. I don't think it's as good as OP13. And I had someone comment on a video a week ago. They're asking me to rank like OP13, PRBO2, and then EBO3. Out of those 3 sets, for sure, my favorite would be OP13, and the one that I'm going to prioritize getting a case of when I have the TCG investing budget for it again. It's absolutely going to be OP13, even though it's a mainline set that's probably going to get reprints. It's just so deep. I mean, look at these prices of the set value. You have the red mangas, The Luffy's up there, the Ace, the Sabo. Then we have the regular mangas. You're gonna have the Gold and Silver Shanks. You're gonna have wanted posters, some other crazy cards. So deep, deep, deep set. It's gonna be up there with '09 PRBO1 in terms of set value. That would be my favorite. PRBO2, it's still a decent set. We're gonna have that Sanji manga, which I think is gonna be great. Do I think it's gonna be as good as something like the Zoro manga? Probably not. I would say that Zoro's probably a more popular character than Sanji by a little bit. I think that probably is going to be more expensive. That would just be my guess. But again, depending on pull rates, how much product is available, that could be thrown out the window. There's also some other decent cards in here. So we're going to have the event mangas, which I think are going to be pretty solid. And then also the Gold Dawn. So there is going to be value there. I believe we have the God packs of the Gold Dawns and alternate arts. So with all that said, I do think you should get a little bit of both sets. But just when I weigh the pros and cons of both of these, I am leaning towards OP13 as probably being the better investment over the next 3 to 5 years. And that's why when I have the money, it will be the first set I prioritize getting a case of. But I did want to get a little bit of each, right? Just even if it's to display a box in the background in some of my shorts and videos. I'm glad that I'm going to be able to do that. Also, I've had you guys asking for me to make a video talking about promo cards and some of the promos that I think are going to do the best in terms of investments long term. That video is coming. It's in the works. I'm still doing research and studying for it. Tomorrow is going to be probably a midweek auction update when we look at some of the lower tier SP cards and alternate arts, probably in like the 2 to 700 ish dollar range. Maybe look at a couple sealed products that sell in that range as well. And then towards the end of the week, I might be able to get it out. I've just been super busy and also trying to figure out this new microphone, getting the audio to work and everything. It's just been a very overwhelming week, but I promise I am getting to it. So that video will be coming. But if you want to just keep annoying me in the comments, it probably will motivate me to get the video out faster. So fair play to that. But if you guys did get some value out of this video, I'd really appreciate it if you leave a like, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment down below for the algorithm. It helps out a ton. Also, if you are shopping, eBay, TCG Player, Hobbiesville, I have affiliate links down below. They're free and easy to use. All you have to do is click on it before you do your shopping for whatever. I get a small percentage of the sale at no extra cost to you. So it's a free and easy way to continue supporting me making these videos for you guys. But with all that said, thank you so much for watching. Stay safe wherever you are in the world, and I'll catch you in the next one.